Hi everyone, my name is Gary Blackwood, professional poker player for Upswing Poker, and today I'm going to give you my 7 top tips for moving up in stakes. When I started playing poker, I started out at 10 NL and I have moved all the way up to 2K NL. So I have moved up many times in my career, and these are the best pieces of advice that I can give you for when you're ready to make that jump to the higher staked games. So let's jump straight in and talk about tip number 1. The most important, bankroll management is key. Like I say, this is the most important piece of advice. When you're looking to short take, make sure you do it very responsibly with minimal risk to your bankroll. Now, everyone's situation is different, whether you're a professional or a semi-professional. If you're a semi-pro, for example, and you have a regular source of income, you can be that little bit more aggressive with your shot taking. However, if you're a professional poker player, you need a deeper bankroll so that if things don't go well, you can stand the heat essentially and you're able to withstand the swings. So it's really important, whether we're pro or semi-pro, we exercise responsible bankroll management. However, you can be a little more aggressive if you have a regular source of income, but make sure whatever you do, you leave yourself enough of a bankroll so that if things don't go well, you can move back down in stakes. You're not stressing about it. You're not feeling uncomfortable. Your money is well managed. On to tip number 2, something we should be doing anyway is look for the softest tables possible. When you move up in stakes, you want to give yourself that best opportunity of making your shot stick. So you want to choose the softest games that you can. Look for recreational players, more recreational players per table. The players that you know are the weaker regulars. Stay away from the players that you know that are the stronger regulars in that stake, and give yourself the best possible chance of making your shot stick and not having to move back down in stakes. So look for the softest tables, make that shot stick, and don't be a hero. Don't battle with all the really tough regs just because you can and you're shooting your shots. You want to look for soft tables and you want to give yourself the best chance of making that shot stick. Tip number 3, something I used to struggle with all the time: mix stakes if necessary. This does tie in with point number 2, but if you're going from 50 NL to 100 NL, for example, don't just play all 100 NL tables when you're shooting your shot. If there are softer 50 NL tables running, don't be a hero. Play the best tables possible. And if that requires mixing stakes, or even sometimes you'll log in, you'll check the lobby, and all of the higher stakes games will suck and all of the lower stakes games are really good, go ahead and play those lower stakes games. Just because you're shooting your shot doesn't mean you always have to play that stake and battle out in the really tough games. If you have to mix stakes or sometimes play a session at your regular stakes, go ahead and do that. Don't be a hero. Don't be battling, and go ahead and mix those stakes. Tip number 4, unbelievably important: play your game. I used to get really paranoid that the regs that were pushing me around, that were targeting me, that were trying to isolate me or exploit me or bluff me on the river, it just meant that I wasn't playing my best poker that I was capable of playing. I was being a calling station, I was being too aggressive versus their aggression, just wasn't playing my best possible poker. This is really normal, really standard. Everyone who moves up thinks these guys are exploiting me, they're targeting me, I can't let them do that. I've got to make a stand, I've got to call down, I've got to be more aggressive. And it couldn't be further from the truth. These players are just playing their game. When you move up in stakes, they're better, they're tougher, they're stronger, they're more aggressive. They're not targeting you, they're not trying to exploit you, and you don't have to, push back and fight back. What you do have to do is focus on playing the game that you're capable of playing, which is good, solid poker, and not letting this paranoia influence you and the decisions that you make. Like I say, when you move up in stakes, the other players there, they're not out to get you, they're not targeting you. Get that out of your mind and just focus on making good decisions and playing the best poker that you possibly can. Tip number 5, I used to struggle with this all the time. It is unbelievably important: leave your ego at the door. Nobody in the history of shot taking has ever made a shot stick at the first attempt. More often than not, you'll get slapped back down to your regular games and you'll have to grind it out there for a little while longer. It's tough, it's painful, your ego is bruised, but you must be okay with that. You must be prepared for it because it might happen. You got to sometimes just swallow your pride, stick with the rules that you made when you said you were going to shot take. For example, I'm going to take my 5 buy-in shot at the higher stakes games. If it doesn't quite work out, swallow that pride and move down. Don't, keep going 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 buy-ins, because that is very problematic. It's not following solid bankroll management and it can get you into a lot of trouble. It's difficult. It's really awful to have to move back down in stakes and you feel like you're not able to make it, etc. But it's normal. It happens to almost everybody. As I say, nobody makes it stick the first time. Swallow your pride, move back down, rebuild, and the next time you move up, you'll be ready to go again, and hopefully you'll make that shot stick. Tip number 6, do not let the money affect you. It is a little scary moving up in stakes. The pot sizes suddenly double. The hero calls that you're making are worth a lot more money. The mistakes are much more costly. Try your absolute best to push that out your mind and to think of everything in big blinds. Focus on making good decisions and don't let the amount of money involved affect you. It's just poker. You want to play your best, make the right decisions without these bigger pots influencing the decisions that you make in any way. If you've got a good bluff catcher, make the call. If you've got a good hand to bluff with, go ahead and do it. Be brave and try not to be influenced by the bigger pots that all of a sudden you're playing much more regularly. Tip number 7, really important. Embrace it and above all, believe in yourself. You have proven yourself a winner at your regular stakes. You've built the bankroll. You've improved your skills. You've worked hard and you've put yourself in a position to shoot your shot. Remember that. Celebrate the success that you've achieved coming up to this point and just really enjoy the moment of moving up in stakes, shooting that shot, playing bigger games, the success and the money that comes with it, and give it your absolute best. One last bonus tip for you before we finish up here. Prepare as best as possible for your shot take. Now, you can do your regular preparations before your session. You're breathing, you're warming up, you're focused, make sure you've got everything you need, your desk is clear, or you're mentally prepared for that live session. But there are other things that you can do as well. For example, if you're playing online and you're about to move up in stakes, you can study your opponents, you can study the population tendencies so that you're prepared for when you move up, you know what you're about to expect. You know that this player has XYZ leaks and you can exploit them accordingly. If you're moving up playing live, there are other things that you can do. For example, when you move up in stakes when you play live, generally it gets a little deeper. So if you play 1-2, it's a little shallow. If you play 1-3, it gets a little deeper. If you play 1-2-5 or 5-10, it gets a little deeper. And before you know it, you're playing 10-20 uncapped, where you're playing 10,000 big blinds deep sometimes. So study, prepare yourself for when you play a little bit deeper, and that means you won't be suddenly surprised when all of a sudden you're 300 big blinds deep and you've never played it before. There's no better way for you to prepare for that shot taking than checking out the Upswing Poker free pre-flop Prodigy app. It has a variety of ranges for live, online, cash tournaments. Everything you need is in this completely free app, so get your hands on it and check it out and help yourself shoot that shot successfully. That's going to do it from me. My name is Gary Blackwood. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.